After the Doctor Who San Diego Comic-Con panel and we got our first trailer for Series 13, people found a link to a website called doctorwho.tv/mystery, which was an alternate reality game which seemed to have the name of Find the Doctor. For those not in the know, really, an alternate reality game is basically a sort of online treasure hunt where people have to look for clues to find like a password or something along those lines. On the website there was a text box which told you to input the password with a button to enter it, and also a message which said, "Welcome to a mystery across space and time. Work together to solve the hidden clues and reveal a password below. Hashtag find the doctor. It begins 1313.13. Interestingly, in the message, the first D in the word hidden was also capitalised, which led people to believe that D might be the first clue for this password. But the bit that fascinated most people was the line which read, "It begins 13:13.13. Obviously, this is the 13th Doctor in the 13th series. That could have been what it meant, but that seemed very unlikely. People were also saying it could mean something along the lines of 13 days or 13 weeks, something along those lines, but the most likely explanation for this was that it was a date of some sort, and the most probable explanation was it meant the 13th of August at 13 past 1. So we all waited, got to the 13th of August, and for once we were right about something. At 13 past 1, or as it can be written 13:13, we got our first proper clue. This appeared on the website and was sent as a link all around the internet, and it led to a YouTube video called "A Message from Yaz, hashtag find the Doctor." What this basically boiled down to was about a minute of just Yaz talking to the Doctor via texting, and you could see some texts that the Doctor and Yaz had sent each other, but that's essentially all it was. But there was some interesting stuff in there. It mentioned Everest, it mentioned the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. People are trying to work out the meaning of those. We haven't really got anywhere definitively with that. But the most obvious and well-found clue is at the end of the video. It has the Doctor Who logo and it says the next clue is coming soon, but the C in the word clue was in red as opposed to the other colour, the white, that the rest of the letters were in. So people instantly picked up on that as the second proper clue. So this left us with the two letters of D and C. D from the first clue and C from this one. And then on the 16th of August, 3 days later, and at time of filming yesterday, at 13 past 1 again, they released a new promo pic for Series 13, which featured the Doctor, Dan, and Yaz. And it's a really weird promo pic, but I absolutely love it. Can we just take a second to just look at it? People have said it's got an early 2000s CBBC vibe, and it definitely does, and I love that about it. It's just a great promo pic. But due to the release at 13 past 1, people started thinking it was a clue to find the Doctor. And once again, they were proven right. Under the foot of Dan, there is what appears to be some coordinates on the graffiti behind them. And these are in fact coordinates, and interestingly, if you put them into something like Google Maps, it takes you to the house of Yasmin Khan, or her flat in Sheffield, which is very interesting. People are trying to work out the significance of that. But just like the last two clues, there's also something off with one of the letters, or in this case numbers, in the sequence. Whereas all of the numbers in the coordinates are blue, the 5 in the second batch of coordinates is green, which now leaves us with D from the first clue, C from the second clue, and 5 from this clue. Lots of people are also saying you could interpret the 5 as an S to get letters D, C and S as opposed to D, C and 5, but so far we haven't been able to work out what that means. Now, that was going to be the end of the video, me talking about what we know about Find the Doctor so far, but literally just as I finished recording it, we've got a new clue that someone has discovered. At the Walker Museum in Liverpool obviously being a prominent location in Series 13, there's a new painting that's appeared, and that's nothing unusual, but in the painting, there's a picture of the TARDIS. So this definitely isn't a usual painting. On the information bit underneath, it claims that it was painted in the 1860s by an unknown artist, and it says the traditional rural scene is set in the British countryside and features a horse-drawn cart. On the riverbank sits a mysterious blue object, and at the bottom of the information thing it says #FindTheDoctor. So this is yet another clue towards that. Interestingly, like the last one, it has an out of place letter with the mysterious having a capital Y in the middle of it. So that now leaves us with D, C, 5 or S and Y. I think this would probably turn out to be an anagram of something, or it could be a code to something. Again, I'm guessing we probably have to wait until we've got all the clues before we can work it out. So that was going to be the end of the video, but since then 2 more clues have been discovered. I feel like there's going to be one every day, so this video is going to get out of date really quickly. But in the Science Museum, yes, the actual London Science Museum, they currently have the sonic screwdriver on display, and on the website it's listed as unknown object, and then that's followed by a bunch of letters and sub-numbers. What's interesting is if you take the random letters, it's actually an anagram of Doctor Who email, and then the numbers 0209 are actually a date, which is obviously the 2nd of September. So I'm guessing that means our next proper clue can be found via email on the 2nd of September. In the description of this there's also a capitalised V, so that adds the letter V to the other letters / numbers that we found so far. So I don't know if you remember earlier, but I talked about the new promo pic with the coordinates in the bottom left of the picture. Well, those coordinates led to the flats where Yaz lives in Sheffield, and if you go on Google Maps and search them up and look at the reviews, there's been a picture added by a John Smith, and this picture has the TARDIS in, and written on the side of the TARDIS it says "Find Me 14/07", and the E in the word me is being highlighted in red, which adds E as another letter that we found that's weird. But yeah, so this is definitely a clue, and I'm guessing that's what the coordinates are supposed to lead you to, so it seems all these clues are leading you to other places to look for clues. So maybe we're all looking at the letters, but maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Maybe we're just supposed to use one clue to get to the other, and then that leads us to the Doctor, or something along those lines. Maybe the letters are just a red herring. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, interestingly, if you take the 1407, which could be interpreted as the 14th of July, and look on the Doctor Who Instagram, it leads you to a post they put out on the 14th of July, which is a picture of the Doctor from Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, and she's holding a bit of paper, but the paper has Morse code on it. And the Morse code translates to Liverpool Gallery, which is where the original painting with the TARDIS in was found. So we're finally starting to see how it all links together. There's also one letter of the Morse code which appears to be in red, which apparently is a G, so that also adds G to the mix of letters, but I'm not sure we're on the right lines with those. But yeah, that's interesting. I think it might be worth looking at the painting again to see if that leads anywhere. But I'm really loving this is great. But yeah, this is just the update bit because people keep finding more clues. But yeah, I'll be sure to update you if there's any more in the future. But this is all really interesting, and I'm really liking this as a marketing strategy for Series 13, so good job on the marketing team for this. That's not something you're going to hear often. But I want to know what you think. Have you seen any more clues, or what do you think these clues so far mean? I'll probably make another update video to this when the next clue comes out, which will hopefully be very soon, and maybe we'll be able to solve it quite soon as well. But whatever you think, make sure to like and subscribe. I've been Cyberman Alf, and from me for now, it's goodbye.